Hey, what's up everybody? It's Ty with Montanan Outlaw BBQ coming back at you with another edition of our competition smoking series. Today, we're gonna be smoking pork ribs. As always, for any type of competition, we only use the best products. So today, of course, for our pork product, we're gonna be using Compart Duroc pork ribs. Why Compart? And look at the color. It's got that pretty pink, porky color. It's got a lot of fat, the striations, the marbling. All that's gonna lend ourselves a really tender product, a really juicy product, and we know a rib that's gonna be full of porky flavor. We don't have to do anything to add to that. So grab your knife, let's start trimming. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna roll it over, you're gonna remove the membrane. Every rib, baby back or spare has this membrane. Just go ahead and take a paper towel, give it a rip. If it's really hard, you can take a butter knife, slide it underneath there and get it started, but pull that off. Next thing, remove any excess fat or meat on the backside of that rib. It's not gonna help us in competition. Go to the fatty side, take off the first rib. There's typically a fat cap there. We're just gonna throw that out. I count down 9 ribs. You can go 10, but 9 to me seems that's where the cartilage really starts at. We don't want that cartilage, so I'm just gonna square it off. We're gonna flip this rib around. We're gonna look for the widest bone, solid bone, typically about a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 of an inch in. And we're gonna run a straight line all the way down that rib, trim that off. This is gonna remove the cartilage on the bottom side of our rib, on the thin side. It's gonna stop our ribs from curling on us and during the cooking process, so we get a nice straight line rib that's squared when we're done. Taking square off the end there, make sure that's nice. And then you're gonna see me, I'm gonna run my knife up this edge, and it really is all I'm trying to do is roll that outer edge so that it doesn't crumble on me when I'm prepping the final cut. Flip it over. Look for anything that's loose, excess fat, meat that just needs to be cleaned up. And you're done trimming. For a competition rib, I'm happy with this. It's gonna give me really nice bones that are square and easy to present to the judges. Time to season our ribs. We keep it simple when we do our ribs. Honey Killer Bee from Cosmos and Montanan Outlaw pork rub. First one we're gonna apply is a Cosmos Honey Killer Bee. We're gonna put on a medium heavy coat, enough to cover up the meat. We wanna do this on both sides equally, so pay as much attention to the back as you do to the front. Once you're done with the Cosmos, go ahead and add that Montanan Outlaw BBQ pork rub. It's gonna give itself a really nice color. It's got good salt content in there that's gonna stand up to that sweetness of that honey. Pat it in with your hands, make sure you push it down in between those bones, then roll it over and repeat the process on the top side. We wanna make sure we're repeating this process evenly because the judges, you don't know where they're gonna take that bite from. So we gotta make sure we're as focused on the back side, or what I call the bone side, as we are the meat side. Because when they take that bite, we wanna make sure their taste buds are hitting the flavors that we want. Pat that in. Flip your ribs up. Make sure you tamp the edges with anything that's fallen off, that excess stuff. That way you get good color all the way around. We don't want any part of this rib to not have some seasoning on it. Now that we're all seasoned, it's time to let this rib rest. We're gonna let this rib rest for anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Here's what you wanna see. You wanna see that salt content going in there, pulling out some of that water, pooling on the top. It's gonna make sure that rib stays moist during the first part of that cooking process. And you can look at that color. Those two rubs add such an amazing color. You can't hardly go wrong with that. Now that our rest is over, out to the smoker we go. For today's rib cook, we're gonna be using our Outlaw trailer smoker. Always lends great smoke from our Outlaw pits. We're gonna put it on the smokestack side. We get good color over there. We're gonna cook these ribs 275 to 300, total of a 4-hour cook. First 2 hours are gonna be out of the smoke here. So now that our ribs have been on the smoker for about an hour, we're gonna come back and we're gonna use Parkay squeeze butter over the top of them. We're not really looking for any flavor here. We're looking for the oils to help shine and keep everything nice and moist. Let these ribs roll for an additional hour. Spritz at a half an hour just with water. So we're 2 hours into our cook. We got our ribs the color that we want, so we're gonna go ahead and preserve that color. It's time to wrap. For our wrap, we use brown sugar as our base. I always use light brown sugar. The dark brown sugar to me makes the ribs a little bit too dark. Next one, we use challenge butter. We use salted challenge butter, 1 stick per rack, half a stick each side. Then apply your honey. Find any good premium quality honey. We are using a Clover honey. Then we're gonna add another line of our barbecue rub just to make sure that we get that color that we want. That paprika and that red chili in there is gonna give it a nice color. And then we're gonna top it all off with Cosmo's apple cherry habanero rib glaze. We're gonna want a little bit of that spice, but that glaze, that shine that's gonna be on those ribs, that's what you're really after. Lay the rib meat side down. Repeat this process on the back side. For all the reasons that I told you earlier, we don't know where that judge is gonna bite, so we wanna make sure that we pay just as much attention to the back as we do the front. So brown sugar, our butter, honey, rub, and a rib glaze. We wrap with foil. You're gonna wrap with 2 pieces of tin foil. And we are going to take these back to the smoker. They're gonna cook for an additional 2 hours, 275 to 300. And we wanna make sure the meat side is down, bone side's up. So now our ribs have been in the smoker for an additional 2 hours. We've temped them. We're looking for an internal temperature of 205, 207, somewhere in there. But more importantly, we want our Thermopin thermometer to slide in and out of that rib like it's butter, like it's just warm, room temperature butter, and you're just poking it through. It shouldn't have any resistance at all. Make sure you use a metal temp probe. Toothpick or anything like that could offer some resistance and make you think that rib is tighter. It'll help you, it'll make you overcook that rib. So now we want to glaze our rib. So we drain off any excess fluid. We glaze the back of the rib with our barbecue sauce. Today we're using Blues Hog competition sauce. And then we're gonna put them back on the smoker. We're gonna glaze the top. And we're gonna repeat that process again, evenly on both sides. Do this with both your racks of ribs. You can see that color that we're getting off of there. That's from that rib glaze. It's from the butter. It's from everything that's in there, but we don't want those juices on there anymore, so let those drain off. And then you're gonna glaze your rib. You can see we've got good pullback on that rib. It's gonna be nice and tender. Flip that rack over and repeat that process. We're gonna glaze these ribs 275 to 300 degrees for 10 minutes. And this is what you get at the end. You get a super nice glazed rib, deep red mahogany color that we're going for. Something that the judges are gonna open the box and it's gonna look appealing. So it's time to cut the rib. We always recommend flipping that rib over. You can see where the bones are. You can help yourself get a good square cut. Always make sure you cut all the way through the rib. In competition, if a judge grabbed that rib and it was connected, he would have to take both ribs. And if you only put 6 in, that means one judge isn't gonna get a rib. So we want to avoid that. We always put in 8 ribs in every competition box. So that way there's extra. We want to present good full boxes. In a competition, we would cook 4 racks of ribs. We're looking to get that 8. So like I said, we're gonna take the middle part of the rib. So we're gonna kick out the edges. Here today, in today's video, I'm only gonna use this 1 rack of rib to present to you. So I have 8 ribs there on the table. I'm gonna flip them over. You can see, I would normally kick those ones out. Here's the 4 I would use out of this rack. They're kind of that middle 4. We wanna take a bite off our end ribs in competition because they're gonna tell us our tenderness. Those should be a little bit over. That's gonna tell me that my center ribs are right where I want them to be in tenderness. We're gonna display these in a competition box 4x4. So you can see we're lining up the 4 right here. We're gonna do the back 4 are gonna be on the bottom, and then those front 4 we're gonna lift, and we wanna make sure that those judges look at that and they go, man, that's a great looking rib. Really excited to dive in there and eat this, and look at that color. So we wanna present it like a book. So you can see right there, present those 8 ribs. Those are 4 really, really solid looking ribs. We're gonna take, we would normally present this on a bed of kale. Didn't do that here for you today. We're gonna take our sauce. We're gonna sauce the edges of these ribs, and then we're gonna sauce the middle. And really is all we're doing is not so much saucing them with a heavy sauce. We don't want any pooling, we don't want any streaking, but we just wanna make sure that color looks really, really nice all the way throughout. So you can see right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean that up. We're gonna sauce any exposed meat that might be a little off colored. We want it to be a consistent color all the way through. Again, not adding a whole lot. Don't want to mess up our glaze too much, but just removing any streaks, any pools. Guys, I hope you enjoyed our video on our competition pork rib. This is the second in our competition series. We're gonna be doing chicken, we're gonna be doing brisket. We wanna answer all your questions you have on it. For now, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, and enjoy my leaning tower of pork ribs. These were amazing, great smoke flavor. I hope you guys try this recipe out at home. Hit us up with any questions you guys have down in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. Again, this is Ty with Montanan Outlaw BBQ. See you next time.